everyone, welcome back. I wanted to do a quick little video about some of the alternative therapies that I've been doing alongside fertility treatment. If you want to, make sure you like and follow and subscribe and all that, because we're sharing some tips as well as our particular journey through fertility treatment. So one of the things that I did find really useful was the women at Fertile Ground, the naturopaths there have written this book, Create a Fertile Life. So I read that in preparation for my appointment with the naturopath, and I thought it was really good. Many of the things in there we've already been doing. About a year ago, I read a couple of other books, and we changed a lot of our lifestyles. So we removed BPA plastics from our house, like we don't have any plastic containers or anything like that. We started taking supplements. We eat well anyway, like we've always eaten really well. Both of us are vegan, and I know that there's a lot of debate about whether vegan is healthy or not. For us, that means, and I think that there's healthy vegan or vegetarian and unhealthy vegetarian. You know, being vegetarian doesn't mean you're eating pasta and chips and stuff. That's not what we see it as. We see it as, raw, lots of raw whole foods. So we have green smoothies every morning. We eat a lot of nuts, Brazil nuts, walnuts. We do legumes, pulses, seeds, and everybody's got such different views about nutrition, and I'm open to all of it. My main thing is about health, whatever that looks like, and if it can have the added bonus of not harming animals, then I'm for that as well. So check out the book, but the main thing for us was that we were already eating really healthy, and I wanted to see the naturopath and have her look at my blood tests, just to see if we could improve anything or if there was any little tricks going into transfer. And mostly I was really happy just to be like, okay, so what we're doing is pretty good, and there's not a lot we need to change, but there were a few little tweaks. We sort of agreed on a bit of a meal plan, which was that I would stick to all the vegetarian, the green smoothies and nuts, all that kind of thing, but just add a couple of things leading up to transfer. One being that I'd have fish twice a week, eggs twice a week. It's going to take a lot for me to work up to this. And then tofu and tempeh, it's a bug. And then legumes, nuts and seeds. And then vegetables, eat the color of the rainbow. So we're already doing that, but making sure we're getting all those colors, blueberries, green leafy vegetables. We do kale, Chinese broccoli, spinach, and also leading up to the transfer, I'm going with the strategy of the clean 15 and the dirty dozen. So if you haven't heard of that, Google it. Basically, the clean 15 are fruits and vegetables that are not as impacted by the pesticides and the things they spray on them. So for example, a banana, which has a thick skin, is probably not going to have as much, a thick skin that you remove. It's probably going to be a little better protected from those chemicals than, say, blueberries or strawberries. So the clean 15 and the dirty dozen has a list of which fruits and vegetables are more likely to be contaminated by pesticides. So check that out, because that is really useful. It's really hard to eat organic all the time. We try to buy organic whenever we can, but it's not always possible. So we really stick to that. And at the moment I'm getting all my greens, apples, things like that can be just covered in chemicals, and getting those organic. And then other things like avocados, for example, thick skin that you don't eat, being a little bit more relaxed with that. So then we talked about supplements. She had a look at my bloods. If you are seeing a naturopath or somebody like that, it's not a bad idea to get your blood test done in advance of that. So I had all, iron, folate, all those, just the general blood workup done, which I sent through to her before the appointment. It's a big investment to do an appointment like this, so I try to go in prepared. And she mostly, I was taking the supplements that were on in It Starts With the Egg. So if you read that book, there's a lot of suggestions there. I didn't take DHEA. I tried that once and it really didn't work for me, and spoke to my doctor about it. We came up with a different plan, which was better for me. But everything else in that book was generally what I was taking, with a little extra support for being vegan. So what we came up with, this is the plan that she sort of finished up with, is that I'd be taking, first of all, a prenatal. So she recommended this one. It's by Metagenics. They're vegan, so And it's really important to just be taking a pregnancy multivitamin for anyone, whether you're going for fertility or not. If you're trying to have a baby, it's a really good thing because you want to be making sure you're getting that folate. As it says, and it starts with the egg book, there is a difference between folate and folic acid. So you want to be sure that you're preferably getting folate. Some people can't metabolize, I guess, folic acid, which is in a lot of like Elevate and a lot of those more readily available supplements. Whereas folic acid is a synthetic form of folate, which is, methylfolate is actually what our bodies need. So I always make sure that I get that. I'm taking a B12, particularly important for vegans because it's hard for vegans to get some B vitamins, which are just not available. Our soils have been so depleted that plants don't offer that anymore, so we'll offer that in enough quantity. So a B12 supplement, which I'm only taking every second day because actually I've had my bloods tested, my B12 is actually really, really strong, especially for a vegan, so go figure. So I'm taking that every second day. The other one, which was recommended by another naturopath called Tasha Jennings, also really good, you could check her out, is choline. So I was really surprised by this one. Choline is kind of found in eggs, so it's really good for prenatal preparation. And the other thing I love about it is really cheap. It was really cheap to get that, just buy it on iHerb, and yeah, it had a really good, and it lasts for ages. You get a nice big bottle. So 500 milligrams a day of that. I'm taking an iron supplement. Again, my iron's just a little bit low, so I'm taking 24 milligrams of that. The other one, which I really love, and something in it just makes me just believe that it works really well, and this was recommended by my naturopath as well, which is CoQ10. I know that a lot of people are on that in the fertility world. So CoQ10 is an oil-based, it's one of those little oil capsules, and yeah, I just really believe in what they say about it, that helps the mitochondria in your cells just be really active and alive. And I've also heard that it's good to separate these and take them at different points in the day because that helps your body absorb it. So my naturopath also recommended that, 100 in the morning and 100 at dinner. So I've been doing that. And I've been taking 400 actually, which I think is what's recommended by It Starts With the Egg, but my naturopath is saying this. The other thing, I'm just going to grab it from the fridge. Hang on one second. All right, I'm back. The other thing that I recommend, which I checked off with my naturopath as well, is this. So it's Udo's oil. This is a great product. Basically, it's a blend of omega fatty acids. So it's made out of flaxseed, sesame, sunflower seeds, all those kind of things. And the reason I like it is because it's how it's made. One of the things that they talk about a lot is how they don't damage the oils in the production of this. So oils, and obviously very confusing for people because they're like, if I eat oily food, that's bad for me, but if I drink, flaxseed oil, that's good for me. How does that work? It's basically because the oils are damaged during the heating process. So this oil I like because they are very stringent about making sure that the oils don't get damaged in the process. And I actually have taken that for about 12 years now, just to help with the omega-3s and 6s and 9s which are in there. So I really recommend that as well. It has DHA in it as well, which is what my naturopath really wanted to check. So she looked that up and was happy that it includes 400 milligrams of DHA. So she said it was fine for me to keep taking that. I imagine if I wasn't taking that, she might put me on some kind of fish oil or something like that. I tend to steer clear of the fish oils because I know they can become rancid in the capsule, and so I don't really like that. And this is just such a great alternative that I really recommend, so you can check that one out. It's a bit expensive by the bottle, and it's pretty gross drinking oil. I have to kind of like chug it back, but you can also put it on food. It's really good on food. You can make salad dressings out of it, just like you would use olive oil, and of course you can't cook it because once you cook it, then those oils get damaged and then they're really bad for your body, like trans fats. So check out Udo's oil, that's one that I take. The other thing that she's putting me on now is zinc. So I'm starting a zinc, I hadn't been on that before. Vitamin D is really important for preparing for pregnancy. So I've been on vitamin D for nearly 2 years now, so that's gonna keep going. The other thing that I'm taking is probiotic. I think probiotics are really good regardless of what you're doing. You should be taking one all the time. And you wanna switch up, you wanna change which probiotic you're taking, because they all have different strains in them. So rotating them and taking different ones, also the ones that go in the fridge, I think that in my mind, they just must be kind of more alive, and it's really good for your gut, and gut health is kind of the basis of all our health. So yeah. The other thing I take before bed is melatonin. Helps me sleep now. I might be addicted to it, I'm not sure. I've been on it for way longer than I think you're supposed to, just preparing for pregnancy for longer than I expected to be. So yeah, I've been on that for 2 years now. So that's kind of a run through of what I'm doing and what my naturopath recommended. And I would definitely say make sure you get your own advice and you do your own research, because obviously I'm not in any way qualified to recommend any of these things, but I do believe that however we can support, I mean, we're throwing so much money and so much time and so much emotion into this IVF process. If you can do a few other things just to support that. Actually, the other thing that is really useful to me is I use a little pill case just to set out what I'm having during the day. I know it seems like a simple thing, but it just means that I can keep track of how I'm going. If I've taken them, if I've forgotten to take them, I can keep better track of it. And it also helps remind me, even though some of them are stored in the fridge, I know that when I take the green ones, I also have to get one of the white ones out of the fridge. So it just helps me. I have had trouble in the past sometimes with feeling nauseous just from taking too many pills. And Jon made a really good point when I was complaining about it, as I do, is that some of these pills are like water-based and some of them are oil-based. And you can tell because you can see the oil in the pill. And when I started taking the oil ones with the oil ones and the water-based ones with the water-based ones, I found, that it was just a lot better. So if you are having trouble with nausea, the other thing is just check whether you're supposed to be having it on an empty stomach or on a full stomach, because that can help as well in terms of helping you with the nausea. So yeah, that's what we talked about with my naturopath, and it was really helpful. I'd love to hear what things you do. Just remember that everybody's got different beliefs around health and different learnings around health, so just be kind. And you know, I personally see the benefits of a vegan diet. I also see the benefits of sometimes using animal products where it supports your health, and at different times in your life that might support your health. However, I will be a long-term vegan. I always will be. I really want to help our environment, help our animals, and help our health, because long-term eating of fish and everything can increase mercury. You know, unfortunately our environment is so polluted now, and the way that we treat animals now really doesn't make for healthy meat consumption by the community. So that's what I believe. What you believe is totally fine, but definitely go out and research and learn more. If there is a side benefit to being infertile, it's that you might learn something new. You might try something new, and it might actually help you have a better, more beautiful life in the future. So it's, even though it's a hard time, it's definitely a time when you can and you have the strength to make some changes that make life better. So that's all. I hope that was helpful. Definitely reach out if you have any questions. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next video.